Hi everyone, welcome back to Demand Decoded, and today's episode is just a really short but important one and an update that I want to bring everyone and some insights really. I suppose we should start with a little story about when we started Demand Decoded, which was, just Phil and I kind of recording on LinkedIn, sharing some insights and learnings that we've had from customers, from our own experience, from our strategists, like everything we were kind of learning along the way. And in terms of where we were distributing this content, it was audio first and also via our LinkedIn Lives. But we also had our Blend YouTube channel hosting all of our content, really. It was a mismatch of everything. We had our Demand Decoded episodes on there, any Blend related content, so like our HubSpot content, our HubSpot website content, just other videos that we would make too. Our Websites Decoded podcast eventually going on there too. And there was a lot of clutter in this one YouTube channel. And as I've kind of spoken about on this podcast numerous times now on different episodes, YouTube is a place where we're doubling down. And like, I really believe that YouTube first content is a huge play for B2B businesses right now. And like with the rise of AI overviews, AI mode, like just large language models in general taking up a lot of informational traffic from websites, YouTube is still a space where you can distribute that content and still get a lot of attention from it. So that's one place where we're pivoting a lot of our focus and attention. And even if you just look at our videos kind of in the last like 2 months or so, you can really see how we've actually started to make that change and really put some focused effort behind it. But one issue that our channel was having quite significantly was that nobody, and YouTube and the algorithm in particular, could actually understand what our channel was about, because we have, Blend, which is primarily a HubSpot website agency, but a demand gen agency too. So like there's quite a lot of overlap in those two areas, but also some big differences too. Like HubSpot tutorials and content is very different to like sit down, talking head style, demand gen, strategic video. And then we've got our podcast too. And like the channel was just really hard to navigate, and it was really hard to actually understand what that channel was all about and what the purpose of the videos we were creating were. So we've decided to split out our YouTube channels, which is kind of, a hard pill to swallow in some ways, because we've essentially shifted our Demand Decoded and Websites Decoded podcasts out of the main channel and given them their own YouTube channels now. So we've had to unlist the videos from the old Blend channel for like Demand Decoded and Websites Decoded, which, some of them had like hundreds, thousands of views. And they've been unlisted now and are now on the new channel with 0 views. But, this is a long-term kind of play, and what we believe will have the biggest impact long-term in terms of YouTube, which is a dedicated focused channel where the algorithm understands what that channel is about. The users and our listeners and watchers, viewers understand what that channel is about. So that's kind of where we're at in the journey of YouTube. I do think that and wish that when we started this podcast, there was more focus on YouTube first. And I think I've spoken about that before, but, YouTube is the biggest play for discoverability when it comes to video content and podcast content. So if you are thinking about starting a podcast or thinking about video, going YouTube first is absolutely the play to take now. And I mean, simply, in the last month or two since we've actually started trying on YouTube, we're now even seeing inquiries from this channel via self-reported attribution, which is great. Like we were initially seeing early signs of success with like great comments, which were, telling us our content was valuable, having conversations and discussions down there. And I was kind of saying, like these are really great early signs of success. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next few months we start seeing consistent inquiries come from YouTube. And we're seeing early signs of that now, which is great. And I think that will keep growing as we start to put more emphasis behind this channel. So yeah, that's the kind of update on where we're at with our YouTube strategy and the thinking behind it. So we've essentially got 3 channels now, which is our main Blend channel, which is all to do with like Blend work, HubSpot websites, and HubSpot itself, really. Kind of best practices on that, tutorials, strategic insights from that platform, from that software, I suppose. Then we've got our Demand Decoded YouTube channel, which is this podcast, but on YouTube. It's worth noting that we might even start doing like YouTube only stuff in the future too. And the same with Websites Decoded. So that's its own channel as well now, where again, we might have YouTube specific content that's going out, like website teardown clips, things like that. So for anybody who is on this podcast right now and listening, if you could please head over to the Demand Decoded YouTube channel or Websites Decoded YouTube channel. If you haven't checked that out yet, you can either get there by the link in the description on the show notes in this episode, or just by going onto YouTube and searching for Demand Decoded Podcast. It would be great to see that subscriber count go up. So if you could subscribe, and just know that that's where we're putting a lot of content now, and that's where like the primary distribution for this podcast and the focused effort will be on YouTube. Obviously, we'll still be, distributing this for audio content because, we appreciate that a lot of people like to listen to podcasts on audio. But I think the biggest value from these episodes will come via our YouTube content. So it's definitely worth going, checking out the channel, subscribing whilst you're there would be absolutely awesome. And yeah, like any feedback that you have on any of the videos or anything like that would be really awesome to see. And I'm hoping to kind of bring some more insights over the next few months when it comes to like YouTube for B2B marketing, because yeah, like I've mentioned quite a lot, I just think there's a huge opportunity there, and we're learning quite a lot at the moment rapidly when it comes to like testing thumbnails, like thinking about audience retention, and how like views don't actually match up with inquiries necessarily, and the kind of content that should be started with, and how you actually think about the type of content you should be creating for YouTube for like the highest chance of high intent leads as quickly as possible. So all of this stuff we're kind of thinking about, and it's kind of all led us to split out these YouTube channels. And yeah, if you do enjoy this content, it would be awesome if you could head over to YouTube and show us some support there too. So yeah, that's all from me really, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see you on YouTube, but we'll keep bringing you content here too. So yeah, thanks for listening to this episode of Demand Decoded.